If you're over 60 and walking is your only form of exercise, I have some shocking news for you. Walking alone isn't enough to protect your heart, and it might even be giving you a false sense of security. My name is Heart Health, after 60, and last year I interviewed Dr. Michael Chen, a cardiovascular surgeon with over 30 years of experience treating senior patients. He told me something that completely changed how I think about exercise after 60. He said, "Walking is good, but it's not enough. I see patients every week who walk daily but still end up with heart problems because they're missing the other critical movements their hearts desperately need." That conversation led me down a research rabbit hole, and what I discovered will probably surprise you. The American Heart Association's guidelines for seniors have been updated, but most people over 60 haven't heard about these changes. Walking is still important, but there are 5 specific types of movements that are actually more protective for your aging heart. In the next 24 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what these 5 movements are, how to do them safely from the comfort of your own home, and why they're more effective than walking for strengthening your heart after 60. Most of these can be done while sitting in a chair, so even if you have mobility issues, you can still do them. Now, before we dive in, I need to tell you something important. Exercise number 3 is the most powerful one for heart health, and it only takes 2 minutes. But you need to understand exercises 1 and 2 first, because they prepare your body for that critical third movement. So please don't skip ahead. If you're ready to learn how to actually strengthen your heart instead of just maintaining it, let's get started. And if you find this valuable, please hit that subscribe button because next week I'm releasing a video about the 5 foods that enhance these exercises and make them even more effective. Alright, let's talk about why walking alone isn't enough for your heart after 60. For decades, doctors told us that walking was the perfect exercise for seniors. And to be fair, walking is good. It's low impact, accessible, and better than sitting on the couch. But here's what your doctor probably didn't tell you. After age 60, your body needs more than just steady-state cardio. Let me explain what happens to your heart and cardiovascular system as you age. Your heart muscle naturally loses some of its strength and flexibility. The walls of your heart chambers can become slightly stiffer, and your maximum heart rate decreases. This is completely normal aging, but here's the problem. Walking at a comfortable pace doesn't challenge your heart enough to maintain or improve its strength. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology in 2023 followed over 5,000 adults aged 60 to 75 for 3 years. They found that seniors who only walked had minimal improvement in their heart's ejection fraction, which is basically how efficiently your heart pumps blood. But seniors who combined walking with resistance movements and interval-style exercises saw an average 18% improvement in heart function. That's a massive difference. Dr. Benjamin Levine, a cardiologist at UT Southwestern Medical Center, has spent his career studying exercise and the aging heart. He conducted an experiment where he took sedentary seniors and put half of them on a walking-only program, and the other half on a varied exercise program that included resistance, balance, and short bursts of higher intensity movement. After 6 months, the walking-only group showed modest improvements, but the varied exercise group, their hearts literally became younger, the stiffness in their heart muscle reversed, and their cardiovascular fitness improved by over 30%. Here's another critical point. Walking primarily works your legs in one repetitive motion. It doesn't challenge your upper body, it doesn't significantly strengthen your core, and it doesn't train your heart to adapt to different types of stress. Your heart needs variety, just like your muscles do. Think about it this way. If you only ever lifted a 5-pound weight with your left arm, would you expect your right arm to get strong? Of course not. Similarly, if you only do one type of movement, you're not training all the different capacities your heart needs to stay healthy. I'm not saying you should stop walking. Walking is still valuable, especially for maintaining mobility and mental health. But if walking is your only exercise, you're leaving your heart vulnerable. The 5 movements I'm about to show you will fill in the critical gaps that walking alone cannot address. Now, let's move on to the first exercise, and this one is specifically designed to strengthen your heart's pumping capacity while building the leg muscles that support healthy circulation. Exercise number 1, chair squats. I know what you might be thinking. Squats sound difficult and dangerous at my age. But hear me out, because chair squats are completely different from regular squats, and they're actually one of the safest and most effective exercises for senior heart health. Here's why chair squats are so powerful. When you sit down and stand up, you're using the largest muscle groups in your body: your quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes. These are the same muscles that help pump blood back to your heart from your lower body. In fact, your leg muscles act like a secondary pump for your cardiovascular system. When these muscles are weak, your heart has to work much harder to circulate blood. A study from the Mayo Clinic found that seniors who could perform chair squats had significantly better cardiovascular outcomes than those who couldn't. The ability to sit and stand without using your hands is actually a predictor of longevity and heart health. It's that important. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 8-year-old patient that Dr. Chen told me about. She came to him with high blood pressure and complained that walking left her exhausted. He had her start doing chair squats, just 5 repetitions, twice a day. Within 3 weeks, her resting heart rate dropped by 8 beats per minute, and she reported having more energy throughout the day. After 3 months of gradually increasing her repetitions, her blood pressure medications were reduced. The chair squats literally made her heart more efficient. Here's how to do chair squats safely and effectively. You'll need a sturdy chair, one that doesn't have wheels and won't slide. The chair should be at a height where your knees are at about a 90-degree angle when you sit. If your chair is too low, put a cushion on it to raise the height. This is important because you don't want to go too deep initially. Start by sitting in the chair with your feet flat on the floor, about hip width apart. Your feet should be slightly forward of your knees. Place your hands on your thighs or cross them over your chest, whichever feels more comfortable. Now, here's the key. You're going to stand up using primarily your leg muscles, not by pushing with your hands or rocking forward. Keep your chest up, engage your core, and press through your heels to stand. Once you're standing, pause for just a moment at the top. Feel your leg muscles working. Then, slowly lower yourself back down to the chair. The lowering portion is actually just as important as the standing portion because it builds muscle control and strength. Don't just drop into the chair, control the descent. That controlled lowering is what really challenges your muscles and gets your heart rate up in a healthy way. When you first start, aim for just 5 repetitions. Yes, only 5. You might think that's not enough, but trust me, if you're doing them correctly with control, 5 is plenty to start. Rest for a minute, then do another set of 5. That's it for day 1. As the days go by and this becomes easier, you can gradually increase to 8 repetitions, then 10, then eventually 15. But there's no rush. The goal is consistency and proper form, not heroic numbers. The beauty of chair squats is that they create what's called interval training for your heart without the high impact of running or jumping. Each time you stand up, your heart rate increases. Each time you sit and rest, it recovers. This up and down pattern trains your heart to adapt to changing demands, which is exactly what it needs to stay healthy and resilient. You should aim to do chair squats 3 times per day: morning, afternoon, and evening. It only takes 2 minutes each time, so that's just 6 minutes total per day. But those 6 minutes will do more for your heart than 30 minutes of casual walking. Now, let's move on to exercise number 2. And this one specifically targets something that walking almost completely misses: your upper body and the muscles around your rib cage that help your heart and lungs work efficiently. Exercise number 2, wall push-ups. Before you say, "I can't do push-ups," let me stop you right there. Wall push-ups are completely different from floor push-ups. They're gentle, they're safe, and they're specifically designed for seniors. But more importantly, they strengthen a part of your cardiovascular system that most people completely ignore. Here's something most people don't realize. Your heart sits in your chest cavity, surrounded by your rib cage and supported by your chest muscles, shoulder muscles, and the muscles between your ribs. These muscles play a crucial role in helping your lungs expand and contract, which directly affects how efficiently your heart can pump oxygenated blood throughout your body. When these upper body muscles are weak, your breathing becomes shallow, and your heart has to beat faster to compensate for the reduced oxygen in each breath. It's like trying to fill a pool with a tiny bucket instead of a hose. You have to make many more trips to get the same amount of water. Dr. James O'Keefe, a cardiologist at St. Luke's Mid-America Heart Institute, conducted research on the connection between upper body strength and heart health in seniors. What he found was remarkable. Seniors with stronger chest and shoulder muscles had lower rates of heart disease, better blood pressure control, and improved overall cardiovascular function. The reason is that these muscles support better posture, deeper breathing, and more efficient oxygen utilization. I spoke with a physical therapist who specializes in cardiac rehabilitation, and she told me that one of the first things they have heart attack survivors do is gentle upper body strengthening. Not because it directly works the heart muscle, but because it improves the entire system that supports heart function. Let me tell you about Robert, a 72-year-old man who could barely climb a flight of stairs without getting winded. His doctor cleared him for exercise and suggested wall push-ups along with his regular walking routine. Let me tell you about Robert, a 72-year-old man who could barely climb a flight of stairs without getting winded. His doctor cleared him for exercise and suggested wall push-ups along with his regular walking routine. Robert was skeptical. He thought push-ups were for young athletes, not someone his age. But he tried them anyway. Here's what happened. After just 2 weeks of doing wall push-ups twice a day, Robert noticed he could take deeper breaths. After a month, climbing stairs became easier. After 3 months, his resting heart rate had dropped from 82 beats per minute to 68. His cardiologist was stunned by the improvement in his cardiovascular efficiency. So how do you do wall push-ups correctly? Find a sturdy wall, not a door, because doors can move. Stand about 2 feet away from the wall, feet hip-width apart. Place your palms flat against the wall at shoulder height and shoulder width apart. Your body should form a straight line from your head to your heels. Now, keeping your body straight and your core engaged, slowly bend your elbows and lean toward the wall. Go as far as is comfortable, even if it's just a few inches at first. Your elbows should point slightly downward, not straight out to the sides. This protects your shoulders and puts the focus on your chest muscles. Pause when you're close to the wall, then push yourself back to the starting position. That's 1 repetition. The key is to move slowly and with control. This isn't about speed. It's about engaging those chest and shoulder muscles in a way that supports your cardiovascular system. Start with just 5 to 8 repetitions. Rest for a minute, then do another set. As this becomes easier over the next few weeks, you can either increase your repetitions or stand farther from the wall to make it more challenging. The farther you stand from the wall, the more body weight you're supporting, and the harder your muscles have to work. The beautiful thing about wall push-ups is they also improve your posture. Many seniors develop a forward slouch from years of sitting, and this compressed posture restricts the chest cavity, making it harder for the heart and lungs to function optimally. Wall push-ups gently reverse this by strengthening the muscles that pull your shoulders back and open up your chest. Do wall push-ups twice per day, once in the morning and once in the evening. Combined with your chair squats, you're now exercising 6 times per day in just 12 minutes total. And you're already doing more for your heart than walking alone could ever accomplish. Now let's move to exercise number 3, and this is the one I mentioned at the beginning. It's the most powerful exercise for heart health, and it only takes 2 minutes. This is the exercise that will make the biggest difference in how your heart functions. Exercise number 3, arm circles with coordinated breathing. This might sound simple, but this exercise is a game changer. It combines 3 critical elements that your aging heart needs: upper body movement, controlled breathing, and gentle cardiovascular stimulation. Together, these 3 elements create what cardiologists call active recovery exercise, movement that strengthens your heart while teaching it to work more efficiently. Here's the science. As we age, we tend to take shallow breaths, using only the top portion of our lungs. This shallow breathing means less oxygen gets into our bloodstream with each breath, forcing our heart to beat faster to deliver adequate oxygen to our body. It's incredibly inefficient and stressful for the heart. A study from Stanford University Medical Center found that seniors who practiced coordinated breathing exercises showed a 22% improvement in their heart's stroke volume. That's the amount of blood your heart pumps with each beat. Better stroke volume means your heart doesn't have to beat as many times per minute to deliver the same amount of blood. That's efficiency. That's what we want. Dr. Andrew Weil, a pioneer in integrative medicine, has said that proper breathing is the single most important thing you can do for your heart and overall health. But most people don't breathe properly because they've never been taught how. This exercise will teach you. I want to share a story about Linda, a 65-year-old woman who came to a cardiac rehabilitation program after a minor heart incident. Her resting heart rate was 88 beats per minute, which is high for someone at rest. The cardiac nurse taught her this exact arm circle breathing exercise. Linda did it faithfully, twice a day, for 6 weeks. When she returned for her follow-up, her resting heart rate was down to 72 beats per minute. That's a 16-beat reduction without any medication, just from teaching her heart to work more efficiently through proper breathing and movement. Here's how to do arm circles with coordinated breathing. Stand or sit in a sturdy chair with your back straight. If you're sitting, make sure your feet are flat on the floor. Let your arms hang naturally at your sides. We're going to do this in a specific rhythm. Breathe in through your nose for 4 counts while slowly raising your arms out to the sides and up over your head in a wide circle. Your palms should be facing forward as you lift. When your arms reach the top, your hands should be directly above your head, reaching toward the ceiling. Then, breathe out through your mouth for 4 counts while slowly lowering your arms back down to your sides in the same circular motion. That's 1 complete cycle. The key is coordinating your breathing with the movement. Breathe in as you raise your arms, breathe out as you lower them. Now, here's what makes this so powerful. The arm movement opens up your chest cavity and forces your lungs to expand fully. The slow, controlled breathing ensures you're taking deep breaths that fill your lungs completely. And the coordination between breath and movement creates a rhythmic pattern that actually helps regulate your heart rate. Do this exercise for just 2 minutes. That's only about 15 to 20 complete cycles. You can do it twice a day, once in the morning and once before bed. Many people find it so relaxing that it helps them sleep better, which is another benefit for heart health since quality sleep is crucial for cardiovascular recovery. Some seniors tell me they feel lightheaded when they first try this exercise. If that happens to you, it just means you're not used to breathing deeply. Your body will adjust. Just do fewer repetitions at first, maybe only 5 or 6 cycles, and gradually build up as your body adapts to receiving more oxygen. This exercise is also perfect to do when you're feeling stressed or anxious because it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your nervous system that tells your heart to calm down and relax. Stress is one of the biggest risk factors for heart disease in seniors, and this simple 2-minute exercise is like a reset button for your entire cardiovascular system. All right, we're more than halfway through, and you now know 3 powerful exercises that do more for your heart than walking alone. But we have 2 more to cover, and exercise number 4 specifically addresses something that's crucial for seniors: circulation in your lower legs, which affects your heart more than you might think. Exercise number 4. Seated marching. This one might seem too simple to be effective, but don't let its simplicity fool you. Seated marching is one of the most underrated exercises for senior heart health, and it targets a problem that affects millions of people over 60, poor circulation in the lower legs. Here's what happens as we age. The veins in our legs have to work against gravity to push blood back up to our heart. When we're young, the muscles in our legs act like pumps, squeezing the veins and helping push that blood upward. But as we get older and become less active, those leg muscles weaken, and blood starts pooling in our lower legs and feet. This is why so many seniors experience swollen ankles and feet by the end of the day. When blood pools in your legs, it's not circulating back to your heart efficiently. This means your heart has to work harder to pump fresh, oxygenated blood throughout your body because it's not getting adequate blood return from your lower body. It's a vicious cycle. Weak leg muscles lead to poor circulation, which leads to a harder working heart, which leads to fatigue, which leads to less activity, which leads to weaker muscles. And round it goes. Dr. Marvin Moser, a hypertension specialist who worked with thousands of senior patients, found that seniors who did regular leg activation exercises had significantly better blood pressure control than those who didn't. The reason is simple. When you strengthen the muscles that help pump blood back to your heart doesn't have to generate as much pressure to circulate blood. Lower pressure equals lower blood pressure readings. Let me tell you about George, a 70-year-old retired teacher. He had developed chronic swelling in his ankles, and his doctor told him it was just part of getting older. But George didn't accept that. He started doing seated marching every day while watching television. After just 1 week, he noticed his ankles were less swollen in the evenings. After a month, the swelling was gone completely. His doctor was amazed and asked what he'd been doing differently. When George told him about the seated marching, the doctor started recommending it to his other senior patients. Here's how to do seated marching properly. Sit in a sturdy chair with your back supported and your feet flat on the floor. Your thighs should be parallel to the floor or your knees slightly lower than your hips. This position is important because it allows for a full range of motion. Now, simply lift your right knee up toward your chest as high as comfortable. It doesn't need to be high, even a few inches is effective. Then lower it back down while simultaneously lifting your left knee up. Continue alternating legs as if you're marching in place while sitting down. Your arms can rest on the chair armrests, or you can swing them gently at your sides to mimic natural walking motion. The key is to maintain a steady rhythm and keep your core engaged. Don't slouch back in the chair. Sit up tall and really focus on lifting your knees with your hip flexors and thigh muscles. You should feel these muscles working. Start with just 1 minute of seated marching. 1 minute might not sound like much, but you'll be surprised how much it engages your muscles and gets your heart rate up. As you get stronger, you can increase to 2 minutes, then 3. Eventually, you might work up to 5 minutes at a time. The wonderful thing about seated marching is you can do it anywhere, anytime. Watching TV, do some seated marching during commercials. Sitting at the kitchen table, march for a minute. Waiting for your doctor's appointment, march in the waiting room chair. It's that easy and that convenient. Try to do seated marching at least 3 times per day. Each session only needs to be 1 to 2 minutes, so that's just 3 to 6 minutes total. But those few minutes are actively training your leg muscles to pump blood more efficiently back to your heart. One more tip. You can make this exercise more effective by flexing your feet as you march. Point your toes up toward your shin as you lift each knee. This engages your calf muscles, which are often called the second heart because they're so important for pumping blood up from your feet. The more you activate those calf muscles, the better your circulation becomes. Now we're ready for the 5th and final exercise, and this one ties everything together. It's a breathing technique that you can use throughout the day to keep your heart rate steady and your blood pressure controlled. This is the exercise that will give you moment-to-moment control over your cardiovascular system. Exercise number 5. The 4-7-8 breathing technique. This is the most powerful breathing exercise for heart health, and it's been studied extensively by cardiologists and pulmonologists around the world. What makes it so effective is that it directly activates your vagus nerve, the nerve that controls your heart rate and tells your heart when to slow down and relax. Here's why this matters. Many seniors live in a state of chronic, low-level stress. Maybe you worry about your health, your family, your finances. Maybe you don't even realize you're stressed, but your body does. When you're stressed, your sympathetic nervous system is activated. This is your fight or flight response. It makes your heart beat faster and raises your blood pressure. That's fine for short bursts, but when it's chronic, it's incredibly damaging to your heart. The 4-7-8 breathing technique activates the opposite system, your parasympathetic nervous system, or your rest and digest response. It literally tells your heart to slow down, your blood vessels to relax, and your blood pressure to decrease. It's like having a remote control for your cardiovascular system. Dr. Herbert Benson at Harvard Medical School pioneered research into what he called the relaxation response back in the 1970 seconds, and he found that specific breathing patterns could lower blood pressure, reduce heart rate, and decrease the risk of heart disease. The 4-7-8 breathing technique is one of the most effective patterns he identified. A more recent study from the University of California, San Diego, followed 200 seniors with high blood pressure. Half were given medication adjustments, and half were taught breathing exercises like the 4-7-8 technique. After 8 weeks, both groups showed improvement, but the breathing exercise group had an additional benefit: their heart rate variability improved. Heart rate variability is a measure of how adaptable your heart is, and better variability means a healthier, more resilient heart. Let me share a story about Patricia, a 6-8-year-old woman with anxiety and high blood pressure. She was on 2 medications, but her blood pressure was still borderline high at 145/90. Her cardiologist taught her the 4-7-8 breathing technique and asked her to do it 3 times per day. Patricia was skeptical, but tried it anyway. Within 2 weeks, her blood pressure dropped to 135/82. After 2 months of consistent practice, it was down to 128/78, and her doctor was able to reduce one of her medications. Patricia told me that she now does this breathing exercise whenever she feels stressed, and it's like an instant reset button for her body. Here's how to do the 4-7-8 breathing technique. You can do this sitting or lying down, whatever is most comfortable. Place the tip of your tongue against the ridge of tissue behind your upper front teeth. You'll keep it there throughout the entire exercise. First, exhale completely through your mouth, making a whooshing sound. This empties your lungs completely. Then close your mouth and inhale quietly through your nose while mentally counting to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your lungs should be comfortably full, but not bursting. Now, hold your breath for a count of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is where the magic happens. This breath hold allows oxygen to be absorbed into your bloodstream and carbon dioxide to be released from your bloodstream. It's resetting your blood chemistry in a healthy way. Finally, exhale completely through your mouth, making that whooshing sound again while counting to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Push all the air out. That's one complete cycle. When you first start, do only 4 cycles at a time. That's 4 breaths. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. 4 times. Don't do more than 4 cycles when you're beginning, because you might feel lightheaded if you're not used to this much oxygen. As you practice over several weeks, you can gradually increase to 8 cycles per session. The numbers are important. 4 seconds in, 7 seconds hold, 8 seconds out. That ratio is what activates your vagus nerve and triggers the relaxation response. If you can't hold for 7 seconds or exhale for 8 seconds when you first start, that's okay. Just do your best and keep the ratio as close as possible. Your lung capacity will improve with practice. Do this exercise 3 times per day. Once in the morning right after you wake up, once in the afternoon, and once before bed. Each session takes less than 2 minutes. But those 6 minutes, spread throughout your day, will have a profound effect on your heart rate, blood pressure, and overall cardiovascular health. Many people also find this technique helpful in specific situations. Before a doctor's appointment to calm your nerves, when you can't sleep at night, after you receive stressful news, or whenever you feel your heart racing. It's like carrying a pharmacy in your lungs, free, always available, and with only positive side effects. All right, you now know all 5 exercises, but knowing them doesn't help unless you actually do them consistently. So let me give you a simple weekly plan that puts all of this together in a way that's easy to follow and sustainable. Here's your simple weekly plan to incorporate all 5 exercises into your daily routine. Remember, consistency beats perfection. It's better to do these exercises at a moderate level every single day than to do them intensely for a few days and then give up. Monday through Sunday, every single day, this is your routine. Morning. Start your day with the 4-7-8 breathing exercise. 4 cycles, less than 2 minutes. Then do 1 set of chair squats, 5 to 10 repetitions. Follow that with 1 set of wall push-ups, 5 to 8 repetitions. Total morning time, about 6 minutes. Afternoon, do your seated marching, 1 to 2 minutes. Then do arm circles with coordinated breathing, 2 minutes. That's 3 to 4 minutes total in the afternoon. Evening, before dinner, do another set of chair, squats, and wall push-ups. After dinner, while watching TV, do another session of seated marching. Before bed, do your final 4-7-8 breathing exercise. That's it. That's the plan. If you add up all the time, it's about 15 to 20 minutes spread throughout your entire day. But here's what's amazing. You're exercising 9 times per day. 9 opportunities to strengthen your heart and improve your cardiovascular system. Compare that to walking once per day for 30 minutes. Yes, the walking is good, but these 9 mini sessions throughout the day keep your heart active and adapting all day long. After 2 weeks of following this plan, you should notice that you have more energy, you sleep better, and you feel stronger. After a month, you'll notice that daily activities are easier, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, playing with grandchildren. After 3 months, if you get a checkup, don't be surprised if your doctor comments on improvements in your heart rate, blood pressure, or overall cardiovascular health. Remember, you can still walk. I'm not saying to give up walking. Walking is wonderful for your mental health, for maintaining mobility, and for getting fresh air and sunshine. But now you understand that walking alone isn't enough. These 5 exercises fill in the critical gaps that walking cannot address. One final thought. These exercises work best when combined with the right nutrition. Remember in our last video when I talked about the 5 foods to avoid after 60? Those dietary changes, combined with these 5 exercises, create a comprehensive approach to heart health. Your heart needs both the right fuel and the right movement. Before you go, please do me 3 favors. First, hit that thumbs up button if you found this helpful. It helps other seniors find this life-saving information. Second, subscribe to this channel and click the bell so you don't miss our next video, which will be about specific heart-healthy foods that enhance these exercises and make them even more effective. And third, share this video with any friends or family members over 60 who need to hear this information. You might literally save someone's life. Drop a comment below and let me know. Which of these 5 exercises are you going to start today? And if you have questions about how to do any of them safely, ask in the comments and I'll respond. Remember, it's never too late to make your heart stronger. Your heart has been beating for you every second of every day for your entire life. It's time to give it the support it deserves. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of that heart.